All right, Tuvia, hopefully you can hear me now. I believe it's working. Be right back after this message right now. Here we go. See, I'm not even ready. All right. Dave Wilson Results staff. I hope everybody can hear me now. Tuvia, I believe I fixed the problem. Sometimes when you do all this live streaming, everything can change. Hey, tonight I'm just going to breathe easy, but like I said, I wanted to go over a couple changes that are really going to affect staffing in social media and some ideas what could work. And I'm going to vent a lot too, so how's that should work. The first thing I wanted to talk about was on Facebook. You know, I always talk about job postings, and now Facebook today, when I was reading and when I had my class, the analytics are going away. And that I realized, I mean, I really needed that. You need that information on how your ads are producing. And, you know, so they're also the watch party function. It's called Watch Party. That was a great way to schedule videos over the weekend. You could do a lot of different things there. And it sucks because they're doing away with it. Now, they are coming back with this thing called Business Suite. So in social media, it's something that now you got to pivot again and change. Now you got to read up on this and see what changes are going to be, because the organic reach now is so hard. You're not getting really anything. So I had Facebook call today. You get 45 minutes a month, and you can reach out and they help you, design your ads. I was so defiant with her that, Brittany, her name was, that doesn't work. I mean, here I'm telling them it doesn't work. Yes, it will. Well, it's going to cost more. You don't get the results that you were having. Hey, Steve, can you hear me now? I'm hoping that it's working there. I'm just frustrated. Steve, I was telling about Facebook changes right now between the analytics and watch party function. That's gone. A new thing called Business Suite. So you're going to want to look at that. Marketing departments in the staffing industry or that are in the corporate centers, the recruiters, you're going to have to look at this. You're going to struggle. If you do not use the ads manager and now learning about Business Suite and all these different things, I'm going to tell you, I'm so freaking frustrated over it. And that's why I get pissed, because you just learn one way and then you got to freaking pivot all around, because everything that you just worked for, that you've learned, now you got to learn more. And I get it. But with all these changes going on with social media, you have to watch the wording that you use. You have to make sure you say the proper things. You get booted off, and, breathe. I guess that's what I have to do sometimes, because it just pisses you off. And today, the reason I wanted to bring that up was to talk about the job search and some things I've learned this week already. It's only Tuesday, if it is candidates again being ghosted. Steve, I know you know a lot about that. They are just ghosted. You get no response from somebody, not even nothing. You go through 2, 3, 4 interviews and friggin' nothing, not even a thank you. Sometimes you get a short little email. And, I blame that on the managers of the staff that's doing that, the hiring managers. I blame their staff. I don't blame anybody else them because they don't friggin' know. Because if it was them, I always say, turn yourself around a little bit and don't assume. The managers need to look at what the recruiters are doing. They need to sit there and say, okay, why isn't this candidate work? What's wrong with this candidate? And I struggle all the time because when people call, and if you're 50%, if you meet 50% in a skill set job, even, you need to jump on that. You need to take care of that and get that person to work, because I'll tell you, they're gone. You wait over a week or two, they are not going to sit and wait for you. They're not. So it's your fault if you don't reach out. Don't go complaining to anybody. This person already took another job. That's your fault. That's nobody else's. Not when you make them wait 2-3 weeks. Senseless, useless. That's your problem. I blame you, the manager, covering. And if you're, overseeing recruiters, that's your fault. Sorry, nobody else's. It's not theirs because they don't know. And I always look at different things as career. I hear it all the time. The value, experience versus education. Steve, I don't know what you want to answer on that one. Education and experience. Steve says here, I make sure not to ghost anyone, even when I have bad news. You never know when that candidate's coming back. Thank you. If anybody's even watching this right there can really turn that candidate experience around. They might be upset that they lost the interview or didn't get the job. That's okay. But if you give them an example of why, then when you called them back, let them know what happened. They're going to be upset. They're going to walk away. Okay, what did I do wrong? All right. I mean, if somebody asks you, that's a tough call. If they chose you, or they might, some good recruiters might say to you the reason why. It's figured out already. If you didn't get the job, anything that you say isn't really going to get you back. But if they let you know at least a reason, you're going to reapply for their company. They're going to have a good feeling about it and say, okay, maybe they're right. Maybe I didn't qualify for that job. So don't always assume, especially when it comes to, like I was talking about before, the education versus experience. Don't. Today's world, maybe last year, you could get away with that. And if you're in different states, you're going to continue to struggle if you just let them go by because, well, we're calling for a bachelor's degree. Listen, you can call all you want, but when somebody's got 10, 15 years experience, even 5 anymore, they can do the job. And if you're going to complain about that, then that's something as the company, staffing company, or corporate, you're going to complain. Sorry, that's on you. I'm just irritated tonight because if you even have a candidate that wants to change careers, like we had a chef, a cook, okay, he's applying for in logistics. All right, and they're saying no, he's not going to stay. Right? I was like, how do you know that? Do you know that restaurants have closed? There's some of them that are only giving them 3 to 4 hours a day. There again, I blame you as the management. As on LinkedIn here, as a manager, you should learn from that. You should say, you know what? This gentleman's got, or lady, 6-7 years as a sous chef, and he wants to go in logistics because he can't afford to take care of his bills. But again, don't assume. Don't always assume that employee might leave. I don't think anybody out there can assume. What if he did stay? What if he did really like the schedule? What if he did like not working weekends because a chef works all the holidays? What if he doesn't? What's it for you? What's it your business? You should know. You can't assume anything nowadays. You can't assume because you don't know what the candidate's feeling about. You don't know if you got to show empathy, honest, integrity. When you're talking about your company, when you're talking about them, you got to convince that candidate to freaking come to you. You can't just assume again. You know what I mean? That's your problem. So make the candidate engagement, reach out and just make it a good experience, and it'll reverse and come around to you. So a couple things also is like on your recruiters. When you have a recruiter that's 1 or 2 years experience, and they're interviewing people that, like, just say medium skill set, right around there on a skill set job, they don't know what the questions to ask all the time. There again, the management. If you don't train your recruiters, if you hire a recruiter, now, just because they don't have any experience, if you have a good manager like Steve, I had to say that, Steve, you can train and really show if they're really wanting to absorb and learn about staffing, man, you got to go on to that. You got to get on there and just put your knowledge into that recruiter. And I'll tell you what, he or she will excel. They will do the right thing because you showed them the proper way to do it. And I would never go. But if you have somebody that's not, if you didn't train them right and they're asking the wrong questions, when you look at an resume, some of the people, the questions that they ask, it makes no sense. Maybe the resume's not up to par. And there again, I put that on the individuals. Listen, there's a lot of different places that will, help you build a resume. You can go to the career links in your states. They do free resume training. Google it, talk to a colleague, redo it, because they really do work if you really put the time into it, because you're trying to sell yourself. You are trying to sell you to them. So really think about that. Put some effort into your resume. It'll really go a long way, and make sure you put the right stuff on it, because you want that recruiter to be able to ask the right questions. So spend the time in there, work with a new recruiter, and teach them what you know. When I go back to job histories, all right, some people, well, they've had 5 jobs. Now, before last year, I would have said something. I would have been like, 5 jobs, I don't know. But you don't know until you interview the person. And I'm going to give you a quick example. I had a person that had 5 or 6 jobs on a resume for staffing companies. I was like, I don't think this person's going to want to stay at the job. But then when I interviewed her, she said, Dave, I love working for staffing companies. She says, I can work when I want and do what I want. I would have put that in the no pile. But there again, if you're a good recruiter, talk to the person, and make them feel relaxed, make them feel relaxed. I'm going to tell you a joke one time about Steve out in U-Haul and those cow fields he's got. He said something really good, but break the ice, get that person, to talk to you, get to know the person. You can look at the resume and that's great, but just do the contact, talk, just break the ice, break that ice in the beginning, and you're going to feel a lot relaxed, because a lot of the candidates afterwards, they wish they would have said one thing. And I've been there, done that too. I should have said this. Well, why did I say that? Don't put it on yourself. Yeah, there's Steve. See, Steve. But he's out in Utah. Steve lives in the cow fields. I don't know. He just pulls candidates from the cow fields. Good luck with that, Steve. But again, work with the candidate. Work. Oh, emojis. Oh, yeah. That's really good. All right. When my favorite question is, again, when people say, how do you know they're going to stay? I always say, how do you know they won't? Again, this all comes down to assuming everything, and especially with, I don't even want to say it anymore, that word COVID half of the time. If you haven't adjusted now, you're going to struggle even more than that. So ask your team, that's what your colleagues are for. Even Steve, I ask Steve some question once in a while. Steve does know what he's doing, and I like busting on him, but we communicate with a lot of people that come on the show, and we ask each other for advice. Because if you think you know it all, you don't. Something always goes on, and they come up with some great ideas. So reach out to your colleagues, even putting a resume together. I think Steve found something was wrong. There was a spelling error on my resume. I was like, shoot. But if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have known that. So don't be afraid to talk to your colleague and say, hey, I would do this. Just a suggestion, Oh, here he is. Why are man covers round instead of square? Start that out with your resume next time. If you're doing an interview tomorrow, I want you to say what Steve just said. Why are man covers round instead of square? It's pretty funny. But it'll break. The person will be like, what the hell are they talking about? And he's funny with that. So another thing real quick is relocation. Travis Lane, we have a great candidate, Travis. He's looking to come back in the States here. And some recruiters have told me, well, they kind of bypass some people because they're relocating. They don't know if they're really locating or if they're really going to do it. There again, don't put them in the no pile. Don't assume that person's not going to move. Don't. If you do, you're missing out on a great candidate, because if that person's going to relocate and say, I'm coming, if you're going to give a job, you got to give it a chance. You can't just say, well, I didn't hire him because he wants to move. He's coming from another state. You don't know the reasons why. There's a lot of line work. There's a lot of gig works outside of the states. And a lot of people are going to them. But when the assignment's up, they got to come back. So again, think about that on some of your hiring processes when you're going through that. It's only April, May, June, July, August, September, baby. That's how long would the stimulus and unemployment runs to. Now, good luck. Good luck. You need to pivot. You need to say to yourself, it's going to be a long friggin' summer. I could just tell you that you are going to struggle. McDonald's is shutting down right now, sometimes on night shift, and Wawa's, they don't have people. They've been putting signs out there. Please be patient. If you think it's bad now, you got another thing coming, because it's going to really turn. If you're not out there thinking of different ways to draw the candidates, give up on the ones that don't want to work. Don't even freaking waste your time on them that do not want to work. Concentrate on the people, the candidates that are. And what I mean by that is, again, I'm going to say it, show them the pain, but show a solution. Show a company the pain. Show them the pain, that you're short-staffed. I don't care what it is, images, but offer them a solution, because they're going to smile. So you need to pivot and sometimes go after the candidates that are working. Now you say how. So I always sit back and listen. If you have ideas that will work, what happens right away is sometimes they say no right away. Corporate will say no. I love that. How did you know within 3 seconds that corporate's going to say no? Maybe Steve, maybe you're good at that. Maybe if I said, hey, you suggested an idea to me and I didn't freaking take it, or I didn't at least think about it. No, corporate says no. Get the hell out of here. You don't freaking know court. You didn't even talk to them. What did you say? If a recruiter or anybody says to you an idea and you say no, corporate will say no. I'll say it over and over to them. You can tell I'm freaking red tonight with these flames. That's not the way to do it. And let's see, over Utah, wages need to be competitive. Again, now, when he says the wages need to be competitive, if you're not going to do that, if you can't really afford to pay anymore, think of some other ways, some perks to add with that. Now, there's different ways that I was talking to Steve today about, even companies that are doing. There's a lot of great ideas with like a stimulus on your work job, and we'll explain that on another day that Steve was explaining, but be competitive with something. Not all companies can pay $20 an hour. You're going to go to friggin' McDonald's and pay $20 an hour? Good luck. Your friggin' Big Mac, that just got friggin' super big. That's going to cost you friggin' $25 for a friggin' cheeseburger. Think about it. But if they offer some different perks, you never know. Between training classes, I've seen training classes being done, computer classes. If they know 50% in manufacturing, if they have some kind of concept about manufacturing, don't toss them out like they're nothing because they don't know how to run a machine. You're friggin' struggling now. Get the damn person in that wants to work. You might be surprised, and he might be your star candidate. He might be like, wow, I put him in the no pile. But yet now he's our best employee. It doesn't, listen, any ideas right now are, you have to take them. You have to jump on that chance of an opportunity. Just sit back and think what your recruiter or what your team members have said to you. Don't just say corporate said no. Corporate said no. You're not corporate. If you're a VP or you're a regional director, you are not corporate. You just assume that they're going to say no. You don't. And that's the reason why, because when I talk to somebody today, struggling for friggin' staffing, they're struggling for friggin' staffing, and they don't use social media. Oh, we use SEO for the websites, and well, how's that friggin' working for you? Because, well, we don't believe in social media. We don't do that because marketing takes care of all that. Marketing takes care of all of it. How's that working again for you? Marketing is not designed to handle social media for job postings. I'm sorry. I will turn redder and redder than this friggin' flames, but marketing does not know how to utilize social media properly. There might be a few, but a lot of them do not. They might be like when you scroll through a Facebook page and all you do is see, well, we're getting paid here, any kind of educational stuff. And believe me, that can be for your work, who you're going after here. But if you're on logistics and you're putting stuff on there that a employee's got to scroll through 5 or 6 times, get it the hell off the page because they're going to miss all the job postings. And you're talking to someone that knows what they're doing on this, because I used to tell marketing, well, the marketing does it. Get the hell out of here, marketing, with that, because they don't know. Let them stick to the things that they do know. Represent your company. Put yourself out there, all your la-di-da and all that good stuff. That's a great thing to do. But when it comes to social media, let your branch or your branch manager and anybody in that office, let them take control of it. It's simple. And I know I'm venting about that, but I say it's kind of funny towards marketing, but it's just, that's the only way you get people to listen sometimes, if you say something crazy. You see what I mean? It's just like the background here. It catches your attention. It's the same way when you're looking for on social media. They don't care. The holidays is great and all that stuff like that, and put that stuff on there. That's nice. But don't be putting too much on your social media page. When you got to take it, you got to scroll. Oh, I have a job. Makes sense. I'll end it on that. But hear me with the value that I can share with you from experience, that it doesn't work. And please feel free to comment, message me, and I'll explain why. All right, almost there. Hire someone different. Doesn't have to be in the same field. We talked about that. Video resumes, right? People say, no. Good luck there again. Can you imagine on a video resume screening assessment that if we're in Pennsylvania and Steve's in Utah, if I could find him a candidate utilizing video resume screening, I'm going to send to his email. He's going to open it up and say, wow, I want to interview this person. And he or she is in my state. Oh, you wouldn't want that, would you? Because it solves the problem. But you wouldn't want it because corporate says no. I always say, they say because of, bias and all that. Well, bias, you're going to pick up that bias the first friggin' minute of your interview. They're going to walk in. You're going to say, nope, I'm not hiring that person. Same thing with a video resume screening. You're going to get the same thing. My answer to that is send it to the cloud. Send it to Utah. I don't even know what I said, Steve. I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time, but send it to the cloud. That's safe, right? Oh, yeah, it's private. Send it to the cloud. Back it up, because I guarantee there's got to be somebody up there going, look at this. Look at this information about the other person. Just think about it that way. Send your information to the cloud. It's more secure than doing a video resume screening. Woo! Good luck on that, because you are going to lose if you don't even absorb that kind of technology. And I hear it all the time. When you say no, I say yes. At least you got to try something. Give it a shot for the video resume screening, because it could save you time. Can you imagine saving time? No. Saving time, the person didn't show up. Oh, but with a video resume screening, you already know the person. Maybe they're going to come in, right? Okay. But no, you don't want to do that because it can save you time. You better to fill that job position besides waiting for somebody to walk in that door. But no, don't use a video resume. Don't use it. It saves you time. You get my point? Don't say no to every freaking idea that's out there. And the same thing, I'm just pissed at it all the time because corporate says no. You don't even freaking know that of corporate. All right, bend it over on that. But make some noise. I was asked today, how do you build a candidate pool? In this type of day, how do you build a candidate pool? You don't have a candidate pool anymore now. It's very hard to even answer that question, because if you had a candidate pool, you wouldn't be in the positions that you're in. Because you have a pool. Wow, that took a lot of sense right there, right? How do you build on an interview question? How do you build a pool of candidates? You're lying if you say you can half of the time, because if you had all the candidates, you could fill the positions. Think about it. To build a pool, you have to fight every freaking day to get candidates. If you're not making noise like this, if your company is not making noise and you're not saying we're the greatest, we're the boom, doing video resumes, standing out there, give some of your recruiters, give them the phone, do an interview live on all the social media pages, not just your personal one. Do something different. Listen, there's candidates, right? There's some of your employees right now that would love to do social media and show them what is wrong right now. Results staff. I'm going to say it 10 times. Results staff. Results staff. You see what I'm saying? Your name is out there. I don't feel like every night, 9 o'clock at night, doing this friggin' video half the time. But the only reason I do is because it makes noise and it shows you. But I am saying, see? But think about it. Make some noise, but be a little positive. I get irritated like that. Sorry, Steve. But think about it. It's not all bad ideas. That's what it's about. Make some noise. Put some green screens on in your company. Have some fun. Get the recruiters involved. I know Steve in Utah there, they have like 6, 7 people. They all talk. People see that while they're home. They watch right now. A lot of people, when they're going to bed, they look at LinkedIn, they're scrolling through. Why do I do 9 o'clock at night? Because I'd rather have something ready for them to look at in the morning. A lot of people don't watch at nighttime, and that's okay. It don't matter to me that, everybody's always about likes, even on social media for your jobs. Likes. Well, likes ain't going to get you all the jobs. If you don't step out of the bounds and tell your recruiters, hey, what do you want to do? Let's try something fun. But you have to be persistent every day. Listen, do I like TikTok? Hell no. I think but it's funny. And if you're going after that certain candidate, hey, you'll get some serious reviews. But even if it doesn't, I'm going to say it with TikTok. I'm sorry, but it's okay. If it gets you 5 or 6, 10 people because you're dancing around and making moves, you know what? I'm going to change and say, go for it, because I'm on Pinterest. I am on Pinterest. Now, I always thought that was just for, I'm going to be honest, just ladies, and I don't know much about it, but putting ads, I listened to an intern putting ads on Pinterest about staffing. Listen, the way I look at it, if you find 2 people on Pinterest, you're safe. You're all safe. Start your own YouTube channel. You're not going to get people right away. Try it. Make it. But I know you're going to say corporate said no. See? No, we can't do that. You're going to get in trouble. What the hell are you talking about? You're going to get in trouble. Make a freaking YouTube channel. Have the recruiters have fun. Let them try something. You're not going to get sued by putting on YouTube. Well, I shouldn't say that nowadays, but it's okay. Or send it to the cloud. Just like I said, a YouTube channel that can bring you candidates. So you're going to post your YouTube everywhere on social media, Facebook. You're going to post on LinkedIn. But no, corporate says no. And again, the only reason, Steve, I'm agreeing with you is because you said you're getting candidates in Heidi. I like Heidi. Sorry. Heidi's a great recruiter. And if you can get thousands and she gets a couple candidates out of that, I'm going to bend. I'm going to breathe. I'm not corporate and saying no. I'm going to say yes. Because it doesn't matter all the time what I like. There's so many, God, even with, Tuvia, what's up? And all those different things. And think about a couple months from now, like say in the summer, think of some new ideas. But if corporate says no, and that could help you, don't listen. No, listen. 2 more things. All right. Again, job boards. Do a live video. Steve does that too. Do a live video right on the job board. Don't listen. I told everybody before, I am the admin on the Bethlehem site in Pennsylvania, right? Do a live video right on it. Those ads are so redundant. Nobody even puts any effort into them. But I will say HTTS, Steve, I'm going to give them a shout out. And Kelly Services, they did some great ads this week. They were really like Stanley Black & Decker. They really showed the tools. It was perfect. It was like a pivoting point, because when you were scrolling, I stopped. Some of the other ads, you can't even read them. They're just, so you're going through, oh, look at that, Stanley Black & Decker. They got smart. They asked the customer, can we say your name? Nope, corporate says no. Talk to somebody, some of your colleagues, to get them to explain to them why. Show them something. Do some research. You might have to do some research on it, but show them the reason why it might work. right? And it works. So you want to have the candidates come to you. I know that sounds crazy, right? You want the candidates to come to you. Let them see you everywhere, because when they're looking for a job, oh man, who's that guy and stands behind in black right now because it's on social media right now, right? Results Staffing. That makes people remember. Remember, just like Elwood, they're a great company. Listen, there's enough competition out there. I don't care what staffing company you are right now. You could just reach out and just grab the customers. They're there for you. But when it tightens up, when it finally comes and hits that point, that's when you're going to know who's going to stand out. That's going to be the person that they're going to go to, that company. Again, corporate may say no. You know where I feel on that. 2 more things, promise. Text us, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, WhatsApp, Pinterest. Do it. Just the recruiters will have some fun. All right. And then recruiting is not just 5 days. And I'm going to end on this. Recruiting is not 5 days a week anymore. 7 days a week. 7 days a week. Smart. So you can really find candidates on the weekends. And I know recruiters aren't going to want to say this. I don't want to work a weekend. Hear this out. If you're a branch manager, just offer it. If you have a lot of messages coming in, all right, and maybe there's an employee that needs some time off during the week, all right, say 4 hours. They have some issues going on. Listen, with the kids at home, schooling, 2 days, like now they bring them back a half a day, regardless. Ask the person, just ask in a meeting, say, hey, listen, does anybody want to just take a half a day on a Tuesday and maybe on Saturday, you know, for like 3 or 4 hours, sit in your laptop and answer messages? Do you think they'll say no? Do you think corporate will say no? No. The weekends are your great time to just reach out to candidates, because they're it's the weekend. They're not thinking about work, because there's a lot of candidates that work the weekend, and they might see, if they work in weekends, they might want jobs that don't want to work. That's just saying. It could turn out positive for you, because that person on a weekend, you could sit there and say, hey, are you tired of working Saturdays and Sundays? Are you tired? How about coming over here to Results Staff, and we have a day shift job paying the same amount that you're making right now? How would you like that? Come on over and apply while you're on the weekend, while you're on your lunch break. Maybe you're not happy. Maybe when you go out to your car, fill out the application, push 1 click, right? It's not just for 5 days. And if you utilize the social media correctly, you can plan your ads while you are off. Get this, I'm going to end it. You can end your ads during the weekend while you're off. Then when you come in Monday, then you have a bunch of messages. You'll have everything. If you schedule everything on all the social media, right? Schedule it. It might take a recruiter about 45 minutes, to do about like 10 sites. Schedule it all out. Sunday mornings, when people are having coffee in the morning time, or maybe towards the evening hours on Sunday, because that's when everybody checks their emails. So on that note, everybody, I am Steve. I'm out. But really, don't always assume, if you get anything out of this, don't always assume that corporate's going to say no, because they're at that point to where either say, okay, no, or still have 300 job openings. Maybe you don't want to fill those orders. Makes sense? So everybody have a great night, and see you soon.